people in Hong Kong will feel it's much of a system worth preserving. I wonder, though, if a lot of people in Hong Kong will feel it's much of a system worth preserving if it can't keep order on the streets.
Well, never forget what these people on the streets, mainly made up by young men and women, they are not asking for something that is completely from nowhere. These young people, of course, they are the future of this city. They are simply asking this government to be responsible. And so we are demanding that we could have universal suffrage in this city.
You never had it under the British. You're asking of China what you were never given by the British. They never gave you universal suffrage. They put it as an aspiration in the basic law, but they never gave it to you.
To do something that is clearly stated in this contract.
I'm not sure it has promised that. Let me quote to you from 5 years ago. This is quoted in the South China Morning Press. But Liu Kang, who was then at the Chinese Foreign Ministry, as a historical document, no longer has any practical significance. It is not at all binding for the central government's management over Hong Kong. The UK has no sovereignty, no power to rule, and no power to supervise Hong Kong once the handover had happened.
This is, of course, we Democrats in Hong Kong, we think that is a wrong statement. British, as a co-signee of this joint declaration, has all power and obligation to make China accountable to what they signed up for.
There is a division opening up, a division between people like you who believe that the legislative system can still be made to work, can be made to be improved, can open up more and more freedoms, and those who've had it with this system, who believe that Hong Kong's place is not as a part, however autonomous or otherwise, of China, but as an independent country itself. Those indigenous politicians and political campaigners, those organisations like Youngspiration and that was founded post-Occupy, those protests like the group that did rather well in the by-election you won, Hong Kong Indigenous, that took 15% of the vote 3 years ago, those groups seem to be gathering momentum. Isn't there a real problem here that there is a generational difference and the young are no longer listening, and they're not listening to Carrie Lam, and with respect, they're not listening to people like you either?